Sometimes knowing your limits helps you test them. Hello, everyone. Bront, CatHerder here. We're having some fun talking Raid Shadow Legends, and thank you for Polarium for sponsoring this video. You guys are absolutely amazing. We are here on the free to pause account. We'll probably actually hop over to my main account at some point in time as well, because I want to talk about testing the limits of your account and understanding where your limits are, because it's certainly one of the things that I have always tried to preach on my free-to-play account, and honestly on my channel in general, is it is good to always test your limits. But I think it is also good to kind of understand where the limits of your account are and identify what things are limiting you so that you can actually start to look for them. Because honestly, I've found quite often, if I don't start looking for something that I need, I don't actually find it. If I just kind of think, oh, I'm having this problem here, I'm having this problem here, taking a break, taking a look at it, take a look at the problem and see, can I tackle that, can sometimes give you an interesting new perspective. And if you've come up with the answer of, no, I currently cannot tackle it, well then at least you know what to be on the lookout for the future. And that includes things like maybe targeting champions in certain summon rushes that you might have not otherwise thought about, because they're going to help you in specific content. So with all that said, let's talk a little bit about testing your limits and finding your limits. So a lot of the idea for this video came about when I looked at my account and I realized that I have one single stage left to clear on Cursed City Hard, and I just couldn't figure out a way to do it. And I was ready to just kind of give up, and I decided that I was going to look at the things that I needed and search for them and see if maybe I do have them on my account and I just don't have them built yet. And in this particular case, the answer might be yes. Now this particular stage here, stage S15, is a big pain. You've got, of course, the Fire Knight Hard, who of course you can only control with freezes, which I don't have a lot of freezes available. You have trouble getting his shield down as well. And then of course you also have the Frost Spider, who you have to kill either with a block revive or with fire. And if you can't do either one of those, he'll just keep on coming back and coming back and coming back. And that's definitely an annoyance as well. So this was the team I tried. And of course, what I have here is I've got two different people that have quad hitters to eventually be able to get through the shield, as well as decreased speed as an option. Ancora does some resets, gets the shields up, gets some turn meter boost, and gives me a speed aura to make everyone faster as well. Plus gives me a revive, which is definitely very useful. Artak here, which I just got rid of. Why don't I get rid of Artak? He is here for the burns, so that I can get those burns done. Otherwise, he's honestly not super useful in this particular team. So if I could get the burns some other way and get a multi-hitter, that would be good. I could certainly try bringing maybe Elenarl instead. She could be an interesting option because she does have the irresistible A1 burn. And if she has multi-hitters, then maybe that would be an option. And of course, we have the Wallmaster here. He is in Slayer gear, so he's getting a bunch of turn meter boosts. He's generally fairly fast, he hits fairly hard, and he brings some decreased attack, some block buffs, and of course the big max HP hit, which could be helpful in getting both of these bosses down in a lot of HP pretty quickly. So team is kind of solid, but I either am not fast enough or not doing enough damage to be able to get through the shield. Plus, because the skills here on my Royal Guard, they're on a 4-turn cooldown when booked. Well, 4-turn cooldown means I can't regularly get through the shield, so that's a bit of a problem. So it occurred to me that one of the things that you really need to get down through here is ally attack. So I decided, you know what, let's go filter down here and go through and go for other effects, positive effects, and ally attack. And lo and behold, I forgot that I have a Contra on this account. Now, is this the best ally attacker? No, because he only deals with up to 3 additional allies, but she puts increased attack and increased crit rate, so that's some extra damage as well. Not quite sure what the difference between this and the Ascended skill is. Attacks all enemies. She attacks all enemies afterwards. So that's right. Oh, this is actually not the ally attack skill. This is the ally attack skill. So 4-turn cooldown. It is a 3-turn cooldown when booked. So from that perspective, that's actually nice. That may actually help me here, particularly if Ancora can keep resetting this. So I can build her with this particular ally attack, and then I can get through. And of course, she attacks one enemy and then does an ally attack afterwards. So you get multiple hits from her, and then I get other A1s. So if I build the right champions with some A1s, and maybe even if I would decide, hey, let's look and see if I have a block healing here on this team. Well, no, I don't. So I don't have an option for block healing here, unfortunately. So I'm kind of out of luck there. I'm just going to have to burn through this. But that may be where Elenarl might come in as well versus Artak, because Elenarl might be able to get burns on the boss as well, which might be more reliable than anything else I might do. So that identifying where I was short allowed me to look for possible options. But I also realized that this is something that I could sit here and struggle for ages, but I don't have the right team. So identifying that I just don't have the right team means I don't have to spend too many resources here and constantly fight with it. Maybe I just accept that I can't deal with this part right now, move on, and make a plan to get back to it later. Now, as somebody that does takeovers, this is one of the things that I have to accept as well on some of these takeovers. I was doing a takeovers for one of the followers of the channel, good friend of mine, guy who has been a good time supporter, long time supporter, and Gooders has been a lot of fun, and I'm glad I can try to give him some help. And we were trying to get him to Fire Knight Stage 7. And I looked at his roster, I looked at what he had, and said, hey, I think this team might work. And we identified a Martyr team using Martyr with the blessing that reflects additional attacks if you have increased defense up. And we had a Croydian, we had a couple other champions. I think we have a Carl in there as well. We've got a Mikage in there. And some between ally attacks and other stuff, I thought, hey, this team might work. Problem that team is having is to build the team the way we need to build the team, there's nobody to keep healing anybody. So what happens is eventually the Fire Knight just kills somebody and then the Tron is dead. So it's just not working quite right. So we went back to the drawing board and looked for other champions that might kind of fill the role, and really couldn't quite find what we were looking for. So eventually I came to the conclusion that I don't think this is going to quite work as well as we might like. And some of it is maybe you're struggling to get the stats right. Some of it is maybe just stage 7 might be a little too rough. And some of it is just you're missing a couple of champions. And we identified a couple of champions that would probably do the job for him. Now, it's unfortunate that there's probably a selection of 5 to 7 legendaries that would absolutely solve the issue for him. But that's kind of where he's at right now with this, unless something else changes or he pulls a couple of other epics that might also be able to help them. It would be interesting options as well. So we've got a couple of champions he's looking for. Fortunately, one of them is Neldor, who's just an epic. So there's a chance that he might be able to land an epic that might be able to help him as well. And honestly, until then, I'm going to keep examining his roster. I'm going to keep looking for things that we can do to progress. But right now, getting to stage 7 hard Fire Knight is a hard blocker for his account, and it's frustrating, but it gives him something to target. And it's nice to know that, hey, maybe that's a limit for me right now. Maybe we can figure out a way for that to not be a limit in the future. And finally, one of the biggest challenges on my free-to-play, and I know is one of the biggest challenges a lot of people are facing, is Chimera. And the more I have dealt with Chimera, honestly, the less I enjoy it. I find Chimera to be not particularly fun. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, and honestly, the gameplay is not as engaging as I find Hydra, where I don't always know what's going to happen next, where I am lacking the champions to really kind of do what I would really like to do, and overall, just finding that Chimera is just kind of okay, but you really need very specific and very tough to get champions, because there's so much you need to do in Chimera that it is really hard without meta legendaries to get everything done in Chimera. So right now I've been working on hard and brutal, and I've been trying different options. This was the team I ran last time. This actually ran fairly well, and to be fair, my Michelangelo is not fully booked, so this team could be better. But Michelangelo gave me a leech, which was kind of something I've been struggling with for a while. He gives me, they've got the decreased defense and weaken both with Lydia and of course with these two as well. We have Tholen doing a ton of damage, and he really does a ton. And he really does do a ton of damage. He is great for Chimera in the right affinity, which is part of the problem. And You know, I've got Brimstone as well, which is great. I've got a couple champions with Brimstone here. This team works well enough, but I'm still missing some of the things I really need. Like, I don't have a good block debuffs on this particular team. Well, that's because I'm just missing some good block debuffs champion. I would love a block debuffs with a cleanse, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. Elva would be game changing on this account because Elva would swap in for Syl, do everything that Syl is currently doing to keep my team alive, combined with giving me a cleanse, increase speed, and block debuffs. But that's a single champion. There are plenty of other block debuff champions that will work just fine. And, you know, maybe they'll swap in for Mithrala. Maybe they'll swap in for Michelangelo. But finding the right team, the right people to swap in has been kind of difficult. So I've been poking around, finding champions that seem to do something interesting, giving them a try, trying to make the most of whatever situation I can with this account. But realizing that some of it is literally going to be, I need certain champions to be able to improve here, or I need to basically improve my gear. That is the other thing that is a bit of a problem for me in Chimera. Chimera, I struggle with protection gear because I don't have a lot of 6 or 9 piece protection sets available because my protection gear is not great because I've only been doing Nightmare Hydra very recently and I only have less than a year's worth of accumulated Hydra gear and I don't have a ton of accessories. So identifying this means, hey, maybe I need to focus on Hydra a little bit more. Now, I finally have, and I've actually done some pretty good things in Hydra to progress on this account, but progression in Hydra is going to eventually unlock progression in Chimera. And finally, one of the things that can help unlock progression that is certainly not always a barrier, but is nice to know that can be something that you can do to improve your account, and that is your Great Hall, both the affinity bonuses and the area bonuses. Now, I'm working on getting all of these to level 6 to get extra HP, to get extra attack, to get extra defense, to honestly get extra resistance as well, because I don't have a lot of high resistance champions yet, and part of it is because I am missing a core level of resistance from this affinity bonus right here, but also some of these area bonuses. Like I focused on Faction Wars right here and got these up, and that made Faction Wars significantly easier for me. As I want to move into hard Faction Wars, I'm probably going to need to max all of these out because that's going to be very, very important. And Faction Wars, fortunately, is one of the cheapest ones to max out. Ice Golem. At some point in time, I probably do need to invest a little bit in Ice Golem because right now I'm stuck on stage 3. I might be able to get further, I just haven't bothered pushing beyond stage 3. But Ice Golem is one that there's a couple of good sets in there. I don't have a lot of those good sets, so as I can get a couple of those built, it would be nice to be able to build somebody for Ice Golem. So I need to progress there a little bit. So that's something I can kind of focus on. We talked about Hydra. Well, Hydra is something I've been progressing, and part of it has been because I've been doing these area bonuses right here. So learning where I'm kind of struggling here, and to be fair, I ignore this spider stuff. I think I thought this was Faction Wars and spent a lot of stuff in spider, and I honestly regret most of this. It feels bad. So getting further in some of this stuff is a great way to make and focus your progression. So identifying some of where you are lacking in the game and being able to invest in things that can help you get better in them are going to help you with progression. Now, Chimera is one of the ones that right now we don't have an area bonus for. I honestly think that part of the patch that's going to be happening soon is going to open up Chimera as an area bonus because it's been out now for a year. People are still struggling with it in many ways because of the stat requirements for it, because of the champion requirements for it, and simply adding this would make it easier for a lot of people, but on top of that would probably start opening up some trial comps for some people that aren't doing the trial comps right now because they're barely doing the minimum damage to get that top chest. And once they can, you know, raise some of their affinity bonuses and the area bonuses to get more Chimera done, I think that's going to make Chimera a little more refreshing and a little easier. You know, and who knows, maybe we'll get a rebalance with there at some point in time as well. It does take Polarium about a year to kind of figure out what they want to do with balance. It's not their strong suit. So here's the thing. Identifying what you can't do and accepting in some levels what you can't do is solid and good behavior. That said, you always want to be pushing those edges. You always want to look for new and interesting ways to get past content you're struggling with. For example, I probably sat for a long time on a Shogun team that could have gotten me all the way to Shogun 25, and I just wasn't willing to push it because I didn't think I had the traditional team for Shogun. Turns out I don't need a traditional team, I just need a team that works. Sand Devil has been another one. There's a couple of interesting options, and I've tried a couple of those interesting options. I finally have a Godseeker team that works. I made the video on that. Somebody else suggested the Emberus team, and for some reason the Emberus team doesn't work on my account. For whatever reason, my Emberus is just not strong enough to be able to stand up against the boss for whatever reason, and you know, that's fine, but it is definitely frustrating when I would like to be able to do a little more Sand Devil. So right now I've got a really, really long run, but at least it's a 100% run, and I can slowly but surely work on making it just a little bit better. There are plenty of cool things you can do on your account, but accepting that you're not going to be able to do everything, and accepting that you need to be able to break down why something isn't working is going to help let you focus on ways you can progress your account. So hopefully this made some sense. Hopefully this drives you to continue to challenge your account, and hopefully this helps you examine your limitations and realize that, hey, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You're not going to accomplish everything in Raid in one go, even if you're dumping a ton of money into the game. There are some things that just naturally take time. There are some things that you need to kind of cultivate and grow. And there's some things that, you know, just you cannot buy, and you cannot just instantly snap your fingers and force to happen. It's time, it's effort, and honestly, sometimes it's a little bit of RNG going your way. So hopefully you found this enjoyable. You guys are absolutely amazing. Much love. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. We're growing the channel fast. I'm hoping I can hit 5,000 subs by the end of the year. That would absolutely be amazing, and it would be all because you guys are absolutely amazing. Let me know in the comments down below, what areas are you currently struggling with, and what do you feel you need to do to be able to get past them? So appreciate y'all. You have a wonderful day, and until the next video, I am Bront, CatHerder.